Welcome to episode 39 of Island by Film. Today I'm going to be going through probably one of the most special cameras that I own and love to shoot with the most. And it's the Rollei 35S. Now the Rollei cameras are renowned for their quality of build and the intricacy and the precision these cameras are built. Rollei, of course, is a German company, probably most famous for the Rolleiflex line of cameras. I actually own a Rolleicord, love that camera as well too. But in terms of the usage of this camera is unique because it's got a 40mm Sonar f2.8 lens. That's the lens that's found on the S model. So the S model itself, to me, is one of the best options. But for collectors, they kind of shy away from this one because this S model is made at the Rollei factory in Singapore. As you can kind of see right at the bottom right here, it says made by Rollei in Singapore. So, I mean, for me, that's not a deal breaker because I know the quality of the Singapore-made cameras is equivalent, definitely, of the cameras that were made in Germany. Now with the Rollei 35 cameras, they are all zone focus cameras. You can see what looks to be a rangefinder in the corner, but there's no rangefinder patch to focus with. In fact, your zone focusing happens all on the lens, which you can see right at the very, very top here. So that wasn't a deal breaker for me because I actually wanted to learn how to focus using the zone focus method, and this actually pushed me towards that. And I find that actually I'm zone focusing 90% of the time when I'm photographing, even with SLRs, because it just is a simple way to make sure you're always nailing your focus. And so, this lens, of course, I said was a 2.8 aperture lens, a 40mm, but quite honestly, 90% of the time I'm shooting fast enough film so that I can shoot at f8 or f16 because this lens is incredibly sharp and the quality of it is incredible. And you'll see in some of the images that I show you later on in the video. So let's go through some of the features on the front end of the camera right here. This right here is a light meter. Now this camera does have a light meter, but it uses the old mercury cell batteries, so they're hard to come by. Honestly, I shoot the Sunny 16 all the time, so I don't really worry too much about that. On the right hand side, you'll see right here that you have a film selector. Just kind of gives you a little bit of a way of reminding yourself what film is actually in the camera. Color negative, obviously, and even negative, which would refer to just black and white. If you flip up here, you'll notice that right in along the edge here, this is where you're going to see your shutter selection. So you have all the way from a 500th of a second all the way down to bulb mode. So pretty versatile actually for a camera this size. On this side right here, you have your ISO setting right here, so you can adjust your ISO here if you're using your light meter. And on the very, very top here, this is how you adjust the aperture on this lens, just right on the top by turning this dial. Now you have to actually depress this button to adjust your aperture. So that's set to f8 now. You can see that right there. Pretty simple. Really easy to use actually. And I would say this camera is so incredible as a street shooting camera because it's tiny, absolutely tiny and completely silent. You'll take a look right here. Look as I put it in my hand. It's completely pocketable without question, and so it's easy to carry around, it's easy to have with you, and it's still got a little bit of weight, a little bit of heft to it that just gives it that real quality feel. So let's flip up to the top of the camera right here, and you'll see, I'm going to bring it up a little bit closer so you can take a close look at it. This right here is how you release the front of your lens. You press that button, slide it out, and then cock it to would be your left. And that just allows you to be able to open the lens and lock it in place. You cannot advance the film advance on this unless your lens is open, nor can you fire the shutter. This, of course, is your shutter release. You'll notice right here, I bought this soft shutter release separately from the camera. They don't come with that because it's got a threaded insert on it so that you can hook up a cable release. I really like this. I found this on eBay for about 10 bucks. It's got the little Rollei R on it, which just kind of gives it a nice touch, a little bit of a gold accent on there, which I quite liked. On the back here is where you'll see your light meter. This right here is a match style light meter, so you don't see anything out of the back of the camera itself in terms of a light metering. So it's a little awkward to use the light meter, to be totally honest. So I just don't. I mean, like I said, I'm shooting this at Sunny 16 most of the time, and I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to close this up right now, and let's flip to the back, put it on its face. So you'll see right here, this is your film advance, and I'll show you how that advances and give you an idea of how quiet that is. Right here, this lever right here, this is where I actually really messed up when I was first using this camera. If you flip this down right here, you'll see a little arrow on the top. You'll see a little R there. Now that to me signifies that you have to push the lever all the way up to rewind, and when you're shooting you go all the way down to the bottom. But I was getting frames overlapping and everything when I was trying to shoot in this position, and then when I would try and rewind it, it was binding up and not allowing me to actually rewind it. And I ripped a couple rolls of film, and it took me probably about 3 or 4 rolls of film to finally figure out what the heck I was doing wrong. But this is how the position works. If you're in a shooting position, you want to keep it to the side there. If you right here want to be in a position where you are going to rewind the film, you bring it down instead of bringing it up to where it says R. So it's kind of a little strange as far as that goes. I guess if you understand how that works, it's great. But so I'm always leaving it in this position when I'm shooting, because that's the only way you can do it. And then I didn't have any overlapping issues with my film advance. But when you're going to rewind the film, you put it into this position right here. So pretty simple. I'm going to put it back over here, and I'm just going to actually fire that shutter and just actually show you how it sounds, how quiet the shutter is. So I'm just going to open the lens up. I'm going to cock the shutter. Actually, pardon me, it's already cocked. And I'm going to just super quiet. One more time. And I'm going to lock the lens. You actually have to cock the shutter before you lock the lens. Close that up, put it down, put it to the back. The next thing I want to look at is showing you the bottom of the camera here, because there's a lot going on in the bottom of this camera. You'll see right here, this is your rewind lever. Right here, you flip this up and you can see the arrow is traveling to the right here. That's how you're going to rewind the film. You'll notice right here underneath the tripod socket is your film counter. This resets, of course, every time that you open the camera up. So pretty simple as far as that goes. This is how you actually open the camera up. You flip this lever over here, and the whole back slides off. I'll show you that in a minute. And then, of course, you have a hot shoe here, which is pretty unique. I think that's great. It's really weird to have it underneath. Haven't used it. Probably don't intend on using it. This is mainly an outdoor camera for me to shoot Sunny 16, but lots going on in the bottom here. It's just super unique and super precision. That's, you know, one of the things that I find so spectacular about these cameras is they just are phenomenal working cameras. Okay. And if you take a look, let's open the back up here, and I just want to show you quickly how this works. So I'm going to flip that lever right here, and I'm going to slide the whole back off right there and put the back off to the side. So that's the camera with the back open. Now, in order to load this camera, you'll see just how compact it is. That's your film pressure plate that folds right down there. Feels delicate, but at the same time, everything seems to be built so well and so sturdy. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this up. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to show you right here. If you see right here, that's where the battery compartment is. It's tucked right into the top of the camera there. Everything's so tiny and compact in this. You open that up with I think a dime works the best. But nonetheless, that's how you get into that battery compartment right there. So let's just put this back down here. Let's flip this pressure plate over and show you how a roll of film loads in this camera. So I've got a roll of Kodak Gold 200. It's a good standard film. You're going to slide this all the way over here. And I'm just going to use kind of the advance lever here, drop the film in place there, and I'm just going to slide it through. I'm going to advance the film until I get just enough tension on there. And we'll close this up. Slide that closed. Lock the bottom of the camera. And we're pretty well good to go to advance. Now remember, you have to open the front of the lens up to actually advance, but it's already advanced. So I'm going to hit the, oh, pardon me, there we go. It's fully advanced now. Shutter. Advance it one more time there. Hit the shutter again. You'll see right here that I am just advancing towards the first frame there. I'm going to leave that at that, and I'm going to close this shutter back up. But before I do that, actually, I'm going to just give you a little bit of a close-up. Hopefully this focuses in here. Everything is tiny on this, so honestly, you have to be able to see reasonably well. But here's an example of focusing at infinity at f16. So you can see the f16 is here. There's my infinity marker. I'm between about 7 feet, maybe 7.5 feet to infinity. So if you're doing any kind of street photography, I mean, it's brilliant for that. I mean, you're going to get everything in focus, and trust me, this lens on this Rollei camera, the sonar lens is just spectacular. So yeah, I can't say enough about this camera. One of the best purchases that I've ever made in terms of film photography gear, and it's a little bit of a treasure, and it's a fantastic piece of equipment. Now I'm just going to actually advance this one more time, and then I'm going to close this up right there like that. And I'm going to actually just show you here a couple of the accessories that come with some of them. So this is the little case that comes with them. It happened to come with my camera. I think it's torn up a little bit on the inside, but it was in good shape otherwise. And this right here is the wrist strap that comes with the camera. And it's got a little bit of a unique kind of cleat system here, where you just take this and you slide this in the back here and push it down, click it in place, and it's locked in place. Now it's not coming out at all, and you can actually use this all day long to carry your camera around. I kind of wish it had you know, somewhere to put my Peak Design camera strap or my wrist sling on there, but this will work in a pinch for sure. So but quite honestly, it's something I just can shove in my pocket, and I don't really have to worry too much about you know, the weight of it or carrying it around. It just works so well. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'm going to show you a few photographs now from the Rollei 35S. Is it a camera that I would recommend? Without question. The Rollei 35, if you enjoy shooting 35mm film and you would like high quality results, I'm talking, honestly, I'm talking like a quality results, and you like the idea of a 40mm lens, you got to give this camera a try. Give you an example. I paid about $400 Canadian about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and this camera easily now is selling for in the $500 to $600 mark, just because film photography and film cameras are going up. Like they are really in a lot of respects an investment of sorts. So yeah, once again, I hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Wes. Please consider subscribing to my channel and hitting that notification bell, because that way you'll get notified for new content that's coming out. And I hope you enjoy these few images that I've shot on the Rollei 35S.